Oh yes, legends, we are live. How is everybody doing? Let's go and analyze the situation here for Bitcoin. My goodness, we got this pop to the upside. I have to say, I was looking for a possibility of the price topping out at this zone and get a little bit of a pullback and then continue to the upside. So now the question is this pump on a Friday going to manage to get a strong move and head to all-time high? We're going to be analyzing the local levels of resistance, the possibility of levels where the price could bounce, and see if this momentum does have enough volume and steam to continue to the upside throughout the next coming days in the weekend, or should we be careful? What scenarios do we have here, understanding the volume, the timing, Fibonacci, and the waves, and come to the conclusion of, hey, is it the time to break out to all-time highs? As long as Bitcoin does behave, we could be seeing some altcoins popping very aggressively. I got a bunch of altcoins that I want to talk about in today's live stream because overall, high cap coins, yeah, we know that at some point we are going to see that Bitcoin dominance absolutely collapsing, guys. It's going to happen. The question is, how long do we have inside of this crypto bull run? It's been a great performer for some coins such as Bitcoin, XRP, Solana has had a major rally. Solana's bear market low was around about $8, $9 back in 2022, right? Beginning of 2023. So Solana has done round about 100x, round about a 20x already, right? So we have seen a bull run. The question is, how long do we have in this bull run? We know that Q1, we usually get a rally, okay, for Bitcoin heading to all-time high, which is very much expected. We're almost there, basically. So how long do we have for the altcoins to pop? I think the altcoin season can be very, very fast and should be coming in the coming weeks. However, it can only be a few weeks of altcoin season. That's what we've had in the past, where it's basically February, March, and then in April, we start seeing those big major wicks and pumps of 500, 1,000%. And it's very short in time. So what we need to be is ready, okay? Because this is going to end at some point. We're going to talk about here, looking at the probabilities for that altcoin season to happen, right? The correction that's happened in December on the altcoins look like it's getting to an end stage, guys, okay? We were very worried in December with the pullback, and now it's time to take action. Be positioned and just be ready to get the heck out, guys, because we do not know when this is going to finish and how far up. All right, if you're too greedy, you're going to miss taking profits on the way up. And if you are, you know, if you're too greedy, you're going to miss out in selling, right? In a nutshell. Let's go right away through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. We're going to focus on Bitcoin eventually. Now, there is a lot of liquidity sitting above those highs that we do have from the 7th of November. So I have to say, I am interested in a short on Bitcoin, okay? I am interested in shorting. I did manage to long. I was adding too much to the position, and I got stopped out with this movement down at break even, right? So not in a short, not in a long, just remaining patient now to look at the levels that I'm really waiting for to take action. Of course, if you want to get into a long position, if you're looking at a swing long position, well, this is not the best zone based on the possible corrective move that could happen. So if you wanted to swing long, right, and take most of the profits on your way up here, it had to be done at the beginning of the week, right, where we did get that bounce at the daily and with all of this beautiful rally to manage to make some profits. And now looking very carefully with good risk management to see if the price, you know, is going to continue to the upside. What levels of resistance with high probability of rejection do we have, right? And are we going to continue to the upside? Of course, there's the extreme bullish case scenario where we're just forming multiple 1-2s here and we're just going to explode in a 3, 4, 5 and, you know, head to all-time high. Is this the moment? Because I know the bulls would say that, yeah, this is the end of an ABC move, which, you know, could be possible more in a WXY, purely based off the complex correction that we've had in a 3-wave move here in a zigzag, okay? If this were to be an ABC, we would have to have a clear 5-wave move here which did not happen. So it's more of a WXY, as this ended up in a 3-wave structure, right, on the higher time frame. So we're going to be zooming in, guys. Make sure to stay tuned. Get your iced tea or your cup of coffee or whatever you want, right, because we're going to make this one very interesting. As always, make sure to destroy the like button. There is a bunch of news that I want to talk about, some analytics that are absolutely crazy here regarding how many people are holding between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoin and how it has increased throughout 2024. It is absolutely exploding. 2024 has been massive for accumulation, and these are wallets holding in between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoin, right? Absolutely crazy. But what you can see looking at this data is that you peak out at some point, right? You have the increase here throughout 2020 on all of these wallets holding 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin. And you can see that you find a plateau, you know, it doesn't basically increase. That's when the market tops out, right? We had something very, very similar here back in 2017 at the end of the year, peaking at the bull run, right? This goes up, but it peaks out at some point. So this rally, right, is expected to peak up at some point, right, in the next coming months. Of course, there's the extreme bullish case scenario, the super cycle, where obviously we see Donald Trump to designate crypto as national priority, including the consideration of a national Bitcoin stockpile. I mean, it could be huge, right? We could be seeing Bitcoin smashing through all-time high, right, and going to much higher levels. This is it. This is the super cycle, right? A super cycle was a theory that came out a few years ago where mass adoption is going to be so big that the price will just explode and basically won't top out, right? We won't see a classic top. So bears will be saying the top is in eventually, right? Or very close to the top. We might hit all-time high one more time. And then you have the massive macro bulls, right, that are leaning on the mass adoption that is happening worldwide, which is really kind of happening, right, in the US. We got the first US president that is really wants to prioritize crypto, right? Mainly Bitcoin, but also crypto. Could this bring a massive rally? Well, as long as the money printer doesn't go on, people don't have that much money to speculate, right, and to invest, okay? So money printer is actually super important. Get those interest rates coming down, okay? Fed 𝗬𝗏𝗏 says 3 or 4 rate cuts could be possibly happening this year, followed by money printing. Then the bull run could continue pretty nicely. So overall, we do have the bullish case scenario that does lean a bit better, right? It does look a bit better for the bullish case scenario. Make sure to destroy that like button, guys. On your way in, smash it up. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. And we're going to go through the price of Bitcoin, a little bit of a higher time frame with this leg up, right? We got the descending wedgie structure. You might see this across X, where we basically breaking the resistance, we breaking value area high. We did get a lot of choppiness here throughout the last 2 days. This was resistance, but we are breaking out from this resistance. Is it a solid breakout, right? When we break a big resistance level, we want to see it followed by big volume, right? We want to see a big volume breakout at resistance. We don't want to see choppiness and a few wicks to the upside, right? This doesn't bring confidence that the price is breaking out strongly. So there is a possibility that the price is just not going to successfully break out from the highs here created on the 7th of November. It is a scenario. We've seen it before. It happens consistently, especially on the higher time frame. And even considering that the amount of liquidity above $103,000, you know, it is building up. But there is actually more liquidity to the downside. There is more liquidity heading to $98,000, $97,000 than actually above $103,000. So that tells me one thing. Will we manage to just squeeze up right now, right? As many people will be interested in shorts, such as myself, but I am remaining patient. I am remaining patient because I do want to see that candle to the upside to hit 103, maybe even $104,000, right? Why get in early when we can get in later on that move at the rejection levels or wait for the confirmation move down in an impulse, right? Because if we do reject, we will be looking, okay, for some waves to the downside, right? And I would be happy to get into the second wave. That's what we always try to do, get into the second wave. However, it is not that easy when we do break down. Why? Because breakdowns happen very aggressively. The price moves faster to the downside than it does to the upside, right? The best example here was the last few weeks, right? You got this beautiful scaling up here, price action. You got the fake out from the highs here at the value area high, the highs that were created here in December, and then the price aggressively moving down, right? The movements down are very aggressive. So to get into the bounce in a lower high, you know, you probably won't get that opportunity. It has to be on very low time frames where you get quick little bounces, right? Because the movement down is just mainly a waterfall, right? A waterfall. Movements down are so aggressive. You kind of want to jump into the short on a retracement, but you need to kind of rush into the trade, right? So we're going to be analyzing a little bit of the levels of resistance for all of those, you know, the people that want to detect the top, right? Try and understand what could be the next scenario. And for any long positions, I mean, there's only scalp longs, in my opinion, on slightly bigger retracements that we have been forming. We are uptrending, okay? We are uptrending, so the next movement down could be a pullback if we have very low volume, very small price action to the upside. Hey, we are uptrending locally, so scalp longs, you know, are in your advantage on these small little pullbacks. So make sure to destroy the like button. I'm going to go quickly through the comment section, guys, and yeah, today's a little bit of an earlier stream, okay? We're going to go right away through the comment section. Hello, Legends. Bolo, how are you doing? Hello, Andy and Legends. Says iDoc Strikes. Guylian, how are you doing? Legends. Bolo, looks like no major pullback anytime soon. Well, we are uptrending. This is why shorting right now is very difficult. Very, very difficult, okay? We are uptrending. You know, there's no big major short positions, not very successful double tops, right? You have a double top right there, little pullback, then back up. And just considering that we are so close to that high, right? This is the horizontal line. This is the 7th of December high, right? That's the 7th of December high. We're so close to hitting that high, right? Which is very likely going to be claimed at some point, maybe in the next coming minutes throughout the stream. And understanding there's lots of liquidity, there's lots of stop losses and liquidations up there. So do I want to be part of that liquidity, or do I want to wait for the liquidity to be hit and then maybe look for the short position, right? Makes sense, right? So overall, it does look like that those highs are going to be claimed. It does look choppy. People want to try and, you know, time the top of this uptrend. Me, including myself, you know, I am interested in the short. I'm just realizing that we are in a staircase here, just flipping resistance levels into support, right? We're just flipping resistance into support. So we're just basically, you know, moving up. So there's no sign of weakness. We haven't hit the biggest major level of resistance, which is at $102,800, right? Which is that 7th of December high. And we know there's a massive liquidity pocket here in this zone, which does look like there's a high probability that we either going to claim it and reject, or we're going to break out and continue to the upside. Now, what is the strongest level of resistance, right? Because a lot of people want to get into the fake out as well, right? Me especially, I love swing failure patterns, but you know, some of them haven't been too easy, right? This one was a pretty good one because we had a daily level, right? Getting into this long position overall was not that complex. I did go in with a little bit of lower capital just because of the big wick that was beneath the daily. But regardless, maintained, took a bit of profits here and managed to hold some of that long into this rally from the last few days. So if we do form a breakout, right, could it be similar to this one right over here, right? Because you're going to get some people trying to short. You know, there's a lot of liquidity here sitting above these highs. So the price could move up very aggressively, pump $1,000 or even $2,000 from current price levels, and then get the pullback, right? Get the aggressive move, sweep up the liquidity. It's a liquidity game at the end of the day. It is a liquidity game at the end of the day. The price goes where the liquidity is. So we do have significant liquidity ever so slightly above us, right? Just about $1,000 pump, and we sweep in all of this liquidity, which is around about $1 billion. Then to the downside is where we have a lot of liquidity, right? All the way down to $98,000, $97,000. We're building up to 2 billion plus, right? In long liquidations. Will we manage to break out and go to all-time high without getting a pullback? I don't know. I don't think so. So let's talk about the resistance, where I would be interested in looking for a short, and what kind of price action here, because this is going to be tricky. I know this could be a swing failure pattern here at the 7th of December highs, but I'm literally going to explain how this is possibly going to play out. Very similar to what happened right over here, where we were looking for a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. It's going to be double triple toppy here, and it's not going to be easy for those shorters that are managing risk, right? For the ones that are adding to position, well, they might get saved because, or they might get liquidated if we do get a pump of several $1,000s, right? That is a risky way of trading, right? I'll just add to the position. We need to roll over at some point, right? So I'll have short orders right there. And then the price suddenly gets to $106,000, right? And you're underwater. Not the greatest way of getting into a trade, right? Because price, we do not know if it's going to reject. So we need to see the reaction at these specific levels. The first major level is the 7th of December highs, which probably going to be claimed now in the next coming minutes, right? We're looking for that push up at some point with pullbacks or without pullbacks. It's just likely going to be claimed right now on the stream. So the question is this going to be a solid wick up and then correction? And if we do get a significant move up, there's some other major levels that I'm going to be paying attention, okay? Because eventually this could really move up. We're looking for the rejection at this point. We're looking for a beautiful SFP right there and then break down. It's probably not going to happen like that. It either gets a big breakout and then it starts coming down very aggressively. You get a large move above that 7th of December high, or you create a small swing failure pattern, but overall you find some support and then you form the latest double top scenario. So that is what I'm going to be eyeing here, okay? The first swing failure pattern could be a little bit of a trap scenario, especially if you haven't swept that liquidity. And overall, the best setup would be the double top, right? The get lots of shorts, liquidate them, and then come to the downside. Something very similar. This is something that you realize with time that's how the market plays, right? The market plays like that. It comes up here to hit major resistance level, value area high. You get the movement to the upside. This was not really a swing failure pattern right there, but then you get the topping scenario zone, right? It looks very toppy. They're probably going to get a pullback down, and then you create the second one, which actually brings the price down several $1,000s. So that's, it's just about being a little bit patient here. It's about, I do not believe that we're just going to hit this level and do this, right? And drop down very aggressively. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be confusing. You're going to get a small little pullback. You're going to get back up and test the highs, right? Then this one is one that I would be interested in a nutshell. So what if the price breaks through, right? Shall we just long here at the resistance? I mean, a long setup here, just when we are, if you're longing, make sure to take profit at the highs, right? Because this is a zone of liquidity, and we know what happens when you grab liquidity. You could get an instant move down. So there's no big major projections for a long position. The long position projection here was basically at the daily level on Monday, right? We're hitting the lows. This could be an awesome recovery, right? And this was the level, right? If you want to consider swing long positions. Swing long positions here to all-time high. Coming into the weekend, which is known for a range formation, is not really a great zone for a swing long. So I'm more interested in detecting that swing short position just for a major corrective move that could happen in the next coming days. So a little bit of the plan here, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button. I'm just going to turn the AC on. How many likes do we have? Let me just confirm here. 𝗖𝗵𝗃, welcome, member. Let's go. How many likes do we have? At least over 100 likes we should have right now as we speak. Come on, let's go. Yeah, let's get to 200 likes, legends. Right away. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 800 people on the stream. So a little bit of the plan here. A little bit of the plan, right? Then we'll go a little bit through some Elliott wave counts here, okay? Trying to understand what we are mapping here, right? Because people would say this is the end of a zigzag, right? We've got a WXY in a zigzag right there. This is the end. This is so impulsive that the correction has finished and we're heading to all-time high. Well, we need to hold our horses here, right? I am bullish on Bitcoin overall. I do know that all-time high will be hit with high probability at some point in the next coming weeks, if not days. But we just need to understand a little bit the resistance and the volume and how we're moving up here. So overall, we understand that there is liquidity above $103,000. There is liquidity there, okay? And we do have some resistance. We do have the highs from the 7th of December, which is classic to just get the fake out, right? Or the failed auction, however you want to call it, right? You got the breakout here and the movement back down from a major higher time frame high, right? Looking at the 1 hourly time frame. The lows, same scenario. You get a movement down, you get the bounce. This time also, right? Higher time frame low, you get the movement down, you get the bounce. It doesn't break down successfully. So the question is, are we going to break up successfully from the highs of the 7th of December and head to all-time high? I think this is an unlikely scenario, right? We especially coming into the weekend, but I understand that this could break out and go to $104,000. That zone looks pretty interesting. There's a reason why. We do have the 7/8 Fibonacci, very important Fibonacci level from all-time high to the pivot low created on Monday. Now, the golden pocket was ever so slightly missed here. Hang on a second. Let me just double check here that I'm not on. Yeah. Golden pocket here, kind of breaking out the golden pocket, right? From the all-time high to the low created on Monday. Bit of a reaction at the 382. No reaction here with the news at the 50%. The 7/8 is at 104,100. That kind of comes in confluence with the highs right over here. Why not extend $1,000, get a major pump? The 7/8 is the best zone, and there is actually an order block right there at that area, right? Order block on the 4 hourly, 2 hourly, right? If we do get the price action from all-time high, we can see that nice bounce right there. Nice order block. When we do extend the box right over here, it's without a doubt a zone where the price could potentially look for resistance, right? It's a very, very wide one. Very, very wide. You know, potentially even better going to the 4 hourly time frame and analyze that order block right over there. So this area is where we have the 7/8 Fibonacci. The question is will we get resistance from it, right? 7/8 Fibonacci, and we also have a naked point of control from that consolidation that we had. This is a consolidation on the 18th of December, leaving a high volume node on the volume profile, session volume profile if you wish. You got a high volume node at that area, leaving us a naked point of control. That is where we do have the 7/8 Fibonacci, okay? So it is very interesting. And what you usually get is a lot of people interested in shorting the fake out, right? Shorting the fake out. However, the price, we know that we would love a movement up of $100, $200 and then get the rejection. That would be absolutely awesome. That would be like the perfect world, right, for liquidity grabs. But we know that liquidity grabs could extend $1,000, $2,000. I mean, look at this one right over here. Look at this fake out, even closing a 4-hourly candle that looks pretty damn bullish. Oh my goodness, we broke out from this resistance. We closed a 4-hourly candle. Hey, how bullish is this, right? Look at the volume, right? We broke out with some great volume. Eventually the volume down was more aggressive, but it was high volume. So, this is, people can get very confused with this, right? It's broken out from 100K. Right? We have high volume. Look at this 4-hourly candle close. This is bullish. The retracement has to be bullish. I'm going to long the retracement, and then you have this, right? So this is something that could happen in this zone, right? I understand that, this is a scenario that could happen, right? Where we are looking for that movement up, right? You got that naked point of control right there, which is absolutely golden. Look at the high volume node that was created here. It's the only level that I would be interested in attempting a short, okay? So I'm in no short position. I'm actually in I'm in a few swing longs on some different altcoins. But on Bitcoin, nothing on Bitcoin, because I'm mainly looking for day trades. Could turn it into a swing trade, but nothing at the moment on Bitcoin. By the way, if you are interested in trading, guys, weeks is the way to go. There is a competition going on right now where there's 150,000 prize pool. You can win a Mercedes, a gold bar, a Rolex. If you haven't signed up, there's only one requirement: email and password. That is it. You get the biggest bonus deposit, okay? You just need to scroll down in the description here as you're watching the video. You got weeks right over here. The link for the competition is also down there, and you can sign up right away. You get 50% discount with the link. You just need to buy some tokens from weeks, and you'll get awesome discounts, guys, just by using the link down below. So looking at the level of resistance that I'm interested, guys, I'm just remaining patient here. All right, dangerous zone to short with the liquidity that there is, guys. It's like it's gonna pump out from 7th of December highs. It is gonna pump out. The question is, how powerful will that pump be, right? Will it be a small swing failure pattern from the highs of the 7th of December, or will it extend just like we did right over here from $100,000? Looks very powerful, very convincing. We're coming into the weekend, and then it rolls down. So overall, I do see the pump extending quite a bit to 103.5 or 104, and that is 104 without a doubt is the zone where we do have that naked point of control, right? Look at the high volume node that we do have from this order block, right? Basically, you have the highest volume node right there of this order block right here, which is sitting at 104,100. So paying close attention, that would be the level of interest. And if we roll down from here, then I have to say I missed the top, right? I will manage to, look for another short position on a bounce or wherever, right? If we do roll down very aggressively, there will be other levels, much better levels to short. But shorting right now, before we hit the highs, with this amount of liquidity, I am not going to be part of that liquidity. Thank you very much, right? I'm going to remain patient, right? So overall, we're moving up very, very strongly. So no shorts for me. If we do not create, and this is going to be a little bit of a difficult one, the fact that we are so close to hitting the 7th of December highs with this uptrend, I do not like swing failure patterns with this structure. I have to say, this could be a multiple 1 2 1 2, boom, 3 4 5 4 5. This is a full recipe for a pretty solid breakout most of the times. When you hit a major high, you really want to create this kind of candle, right? That should happen somewhere around about this zone. Come up very fast to the level and then get the rejection. But when you're building up with higher lows into the level of interest for a swing failure pattern level, the demand is pushing up here so massively that the breakout could be pretty solid. That is the risk, right? When you create a swing failure pattern, the faster you move up from lower prices, the better. right? The faster you move from lower prices, the better the swing failure pattern can be. But the moment you build up into that resistance, my goodness, this could pop out. Okay, so, you know, really not an interesting level when we're building up here, because the main reason why you usually pop out from a major resistance with this price action, which, you know, you can see, you know, there's multiple examples, right? I mean, this would be the clearest one right over here. I mean, which is not heading to a big major resistance level, but regardless, when you get these steep uptrends, right? When you get these steep uptrends, bang, you usually break out, right? In this case, you had one right over here, right? Steep uptrend into the resistance, bang. So the fact that we are building up with a channel here just tells me that this is not the greatest level. It could create a small little swing failure pattern, drop down a few $100s, but I wouldn't be confident to say, okay, it's going to wick down here and then break down like this, you know, because you're building up here with multiple 1-2 potentially, right, and get a solid breakout. So I'm not in a rush here to get into any shorts. I would rather attempt the $104,000 where we have a naked point of control. We do have the 7/8 Fibonacci from all-time high, right? And that order block as well, right? So that would be the zone that I'm basically going to be waiting for. And if the price does break down from current price levels, I have to say, I'll miss the short, right? I'll miss the short, and I'll look to get into the short later on, depending on the strength of the movement down and the bounces, right? Because if we start moving down very aggressively from this point, we have to come to the conclusion that it's forming an initial wave 1, right? And any local bounce here could be the possibility of your wave 2. But we need a bit of power, a bit of volume, a big rejection, and I'll look to, you know, hop into the short later on if I don't get the top, just with local strength, right, to the downside, understanding the price action. So this is not too convincing. We're just about to take those higher time frame highs with very, very strong momentum here. This might look weak, but it's actually a possibility of being a multiple 1-2, just like I gave you here, right? It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but there's high probability when you move up with that slightly higher highs and higher lows that you have a high chance in getting the price popping out at some stage, right? So it doesn't look like a very solid level where we can get a big rejection, especially with that liquidity pocket that we do have, right? When we understand the liquidity that there is lying at $103,000 plus. Let's go. Why should we go down before the inauguration of Trump? That is very true. We got a little bit of hype. Okay, there is some hype with you know, with Donald Trump coming in as president, without a doubt. So I mean, this could extend. The bullish case scenario is that we have formed multiple 1-2s right over here already, and that we are just building up the third wave, 4-5. We're heading to all-time high and even $110,000, right, in the next coming days. It is without a doubt a possibility. So there is a possibility that this has been the end of the correction in a WXY. So now we're just moving very impulsively with multiple 1-2s. There is, without a doubt, a possibility for that scenario. Okay, I'm just talking about the intraday levels where I would be interested in speculating, in this case for a short position, because longing right now into resistance, well, you have very, very shallow pullbacks, right? I mean, if you want to get into a small pullback here and take profit at the highs, just understanding that, you know, we could reject from this zone, it's very, very hard as a day trader, right? This ain't a level where I'm going to add to a long position, right? You ain't going to get into a big fat long here, swing long position, just understanding the amount of downside that could happen because we've been uptrending for the last week, basically, right? Since Monday. You know, there's no swing long position to be taken here on my side. Yeah, you can get into a scalp long on the retracement. Absolutely. But the swing long should have been taken from lower, right? Should have been taken from lower on Monday, where we mentioned that daily level as well here on the channel. But if you want to get into longs, right, I want to know your strategy, right? There's either this strategy right over here, which is the one that would work, get into a long on the pullbacks and get out at the highs and be defensive with your stop at the latest higher low, right? Take profit at the highs, be defensive. You just need to be aware of the fake out from the 7th of December highs. If you want to get into a swing long position here at this range, you say, we're going to break, we're going to go to higher levels. I'm going to put a bunch of limit longs. This is extremely dangerous where we're at right now. So for me, it is crystal clear. Longs only scalps on small little pullbacks, being very defensive with a stop loss and targeting the highs. You got small little movements of a few $100s. And if you break out, you can leave some of the position open, be defensive, and, you know, make some more profits on the breakout. But this is a zone where you're more interested in a swing short trade. You're interested more in a swing short trade at very specific levels. People are not patient trading. So I know people will just jump into a short position and just put a bunch of short, you know, limit orders right over here. We don't know if we're going to reject, guys. There's specific levels that I need to wait for and confirmations for me to get into the short. And in a nutshell, it is a local double top here at this range, or breakout, and I'm looking at the 104,100, which is the 7/8 Fibonacci from the high to the low, and a naked point of control and that order block right over here. Okay, and that would be a nice sweep of the liquidity, and then potentially a larger corrective move in the next coming days. Because, you know, this is literally how it kind of works. You get a solid breakout, you do not create a failed breakout from the highs, and you get a pretty solid candle. And the solid candle does hit the next level of resistance, and then it starts rolling down from there. So swing longs at those levels would only attempt here a possible double top scenario in this area. If we break out, I'm looking at $104,000 as the next resistance zone. And for any longs, your only option in this small little staircase is look for the resistance support flips. Wow, this is not really much of a breakout, but overall, you're looking for the continuation of the uptrend. Get in, stop loss at the latest low, get out at the high, be defensive with your entry, and see if we do break out. So not much of a breakout happening from this high. So we got that old daily level that has been getting a bit of support. We also have the VWAP. VWAP is very far away, but overall we're just very close to the 7th of December highs. And if we were to get a breakdown very solidly with high volume, I would be paying attention to the bounce. I would be paying attention to the bounce. If we form a three-wave structure, then I'm looking for the rollover eventually, right? I'll be very, very, very patiently waiting for bearish CVDs, looking at the three-wave move, looking at 50% 7/8 Fibonacci from this movement down as a, you know, possible zone where the price could reject a back test of the daily. That's also possible if we break that daily level that got resistance today. We just got a little pullback of $400-500. It's a daily level. Well, it's the daily level from the 7th of December highs, right? You got that daily close and open that has been resistance. We have got resistance today from that daily level. The daily level got resistance and we moved down about $500. So broke out from it, bit of a fake out down, maintaining above the daily. That daily level is just a fresh level that we've tested and broken out today. So if we were to break down very aggressively, it could be resistance. It could flip into resistance. So yeah, I would be looking for a short potentially on the bounce of the breakdown. Let's go right away through $101,000. $101,000. Movement down to $101,000. Maybe. There was another scenario that was very interesting. 𝗬𝗏 has been talking about this scenario in the Legends trading community this morning, which is very, very possible still. It's something that I also analyzed in the morning, which is a flat, okay? Which is a flat structure, which looks very interesting. And that's purely based on the momentum wave, right? The wave has kind of extended here. And the only scenario that you could come with looking at this extending, right? You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You either have a double 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. You're in the third wave. You're going to be exploding out here throughout the next coming hours between today and tomorrow. Or you have the finished 5 waves, right? Which, you know, is something that we have been talking about, that, you know, this could be the end of the 5th wave and that we could roll down from here, which we didn't. We had a movement down, came straight back up. The moment we claimed these lower highs, this was bullish. The moment we had a V-shaped recovery and claimed this high, it was bullish, because this no longer comes a solid impulsive structure to the downside, because you've broken the downtrend structure from this lower high. The moment you hit this high, you realize that there's high probability in hitting the high with a movement up or correcting and moving up, right? Just as we claimed this high right there with the V-shaped recovery, which, you know, was kind of a little bit unexpected in my opinion. It looked pretty possible to form a double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 in an A wave, right? This was a scenario that was mentioned throughout yesterday that did not happen, right? So the other scenario based on how to structure this movement, which is another possibility, is that you've formed 5 waves here, and this is part of an A, B, C flat, right? We know there's lots of liquidity sitting right here. There is a lot, guys. Where we do analyze here the liquidity map, there is over $2 billion in long liquidations just at the $98,000 to $97,000, right? So that is basically where we have this zone, right? Is this high or low? There's lots of liquidity sitting right there, which is a target zone. Now, for the ABC flat, there's some limit targets and there is some target zones that decrease the probability. Taking a look at the Fibonacci extension, which is from this pivot high to the pivot low, you're basically looking at the 1236 to the 1382, the most common area for your B flat target. 1.618 is a possibility, but it's rare to see a B wave extend as far as the 1.618. But what is very interesting at the 1.618 from this move, it is just above the highs from the 7th of December, giving you a bit of a higher probability that it could create that failed breakout and liquidity grab and then roll down very aggressively. So it's going to be a level that, you know, we're going to have to be paying attention here on how we hit it. Let's go. Yes, let's go. Smash up the like button. Can we break the record today? Get the likes to match the views. That is kind of a mission impossible. I did get 1,000 views on a live stream a few days ago. Let's pump up the like button. Like button is very bearish, guys, not like Bitcoin and XRP, which is very bullish, right, throughout the last few days. Let's get that like button absolutely destroyed, guys, if you do enjoy the content and looking at the different scenarios. And if you don't know who this sexy guy is, in the comment section, you need to go and check him out, right? I'm going to pin him right away in the comment section. You must know him from now. I think, you know, a lot of you guys have head to go and follow 𝗬𝗏. He provides insane technical analysis, education every single day, guys. It's this sexy dude right over here. Shout out to you, 𝗬𝗏. There he is, guys. He's in the pinned comment, so go and check him out right away. Let's go and do a bit of comment section. I want to know your opinion, right? I want to know your opinion. I think I could do a pretty interesting poll right now, very easy, to say, look, will the price of Bitcoin break successfully the highs of the 7th of December? And breaking successfully means, you know, maintaining above it pretty successfully for the next coming days, maybe heading to all-time high. Or will we fake out and get a correction, right? Let me ask that question. Will we break out successfully from the 7th of December highs, guys? Let me know yes or no. Let me know yes or no in the poll. Let's see how many people are very bullish, or the people that are bearish, and eventually the people that are lower time frame bearish, right? That do understand that there is a chance for a corrective move. Let me know right away. We got lots of yeses, lots of nos. It's a 50-50. I'm going to say we will not break out successfully. Okay, I do see $104,000 being a possibility, but I'm going to say no personally. We do have 55% of people saying yes. We got a lot of people bullish. It's a 50-50 here, almost over 100 votes. It's a 50-50. We got a war between bears and bulls on the local time frame. We got a big battle here going on here on the poll. Slightly more yes. People are very bullish, and they do see a successful breakout from the December highs. Fake out and retest $90,000. Wow. Now that is a very bearish prediction, right? Fake out and $90,000, says someone here in the comment section. It's without a doubt a possibility. XO showing bearish CVD divergence on the lower time frame. We have some local bearish CVD divergence. I mean, you can look at it on XO chart or AGGR.trade. Local bearish CVD divergence on the lower time frame. Assume it's on the 5-minute, 3-minute time frame. Ever so slightly. Well, it has to be in the lower time frame, right? Ever so slightly. Let's see AGGR.trade here for the bearish CVDs on the lower time frame. Yeah, no bearish CVDs, though. We've taken out this high, so you can't. Yeah, there's no higher highs on the CVD and lower highs on the price action, so there's no bearish CVD divergence, unfortunately. There's actually bullish CVDs. There's actually bullish CVD divergence on the lower time frame, basically looking for the price to hit the highs again, which is kind of getting a movement up now. So uptrending, guys. It looks like we want to get the pop throughout the live stream. We are going to attempt to break it out. There's only scalp positions here to be taken. Get into a long on the small little pullback. Stop loss at the last low. Entry point. You literally need to get out on the movement up, realizing the rejection, right? Very likely it's going to break out. So lots of liquidity heading to $103,000 plus. So there's only scalp longs to be taken here on this uptrend. There's no real short till we actually break out from the 7th of November highs. And if we break out successfully, I think we're going to head up to $104,000. Looks very bullish. Yeah, it looks like we can get a pump of $1,000 plus here. Just about to claim the 7th of December highs on the stream. And we have officially hit the 7th of December highs right now as we speak. And it could get the pop. We do have that liquidity, guys. We do have that liquidity, so I would expect an aggressive move up. I would expect a little bit of an aggressive move up here. 103, 100, yeah, it does look like we're going to sweep it up. Most of the liquidity lies in this zone. It does look like we could sweep up this area. Monday, sell the news. Monday, sell the news. That is also a possibility. I do like that, right? Get the hype as Donald Trump is just about to enter, right, as president, and sell the news. Is all-time high likely today? No, this is unlikely in my opinion. It's unlikely that we do hit all-time high today, right? I want to take a look at some altcoins, guys. I think the strategy here for me, for any short, I'm in no short positions on Bitcoin at the moment. And but I've mentioned the levels and the scenarios that I would be interested to get into the short, right? Which is either double topping here locally as we attempt to break out the highs of November, the 7th of December, sorry, or we extend to 104,100, and this is the area where the order block and a naked point of control and the 7/8 Fibonacci, where I would be eyeing the fake out zone, right? Something similar that happened here in the first week of January. We got an explosive move of $2,000, right? Which did not end up in a successful breakout. It just came back down. We were very much aware of this scenario. It did look very, very flatty. I didn't like the waves formation here. Too extended with no big pullbacks. If we move up so fast, guys, it is not too healthy, okay? We need to understand, if you move fast up with no big major pullbacks, right? A solid uptrend is like this. Boom, bang, boom, bang, right? Very, very nice, big uptrend like this. But the moment you move very fast up with hype, it's unsustainable, right? It's an unsustainable pump. So we just need to have our levels ready on the chart, and that's basically my plan. I want to talk about some altcoins legends. It is time, because I do reckon, right? Andy, check theta. You have not mentioned it on months. Umbrella Network, please. Yes, we were talking about Umbrella Network the other day. We have been talking about it. It's basically still at the accumulation level. There's some altcoins that I want to go through, but Umbrella still holding the bag. You know, it's one of those cryptos that hasn't done anything yet. But I need to make you understand that once these larger cap coins do take off, they do take off. It's basically at the base. So there's nothing to worry about. It's at the reaccumulation area. I managed to buy it even at lower levels. This one, once we get the altcoin season and we get the Bitcoin dominance dropping like it should, which should happen in the coming weeks, it's going to be very fast, okay? This is boring. It's a market where we need to be patient, and Umbrella is at the base. So eventually, I'm expecting it to pop out to the highs here, and it's going to happen very fast, right? We'll talk about it a lot when it pumps. We've been talking about it for the last few months. It's just not doing much right now. But when it does, it's going to happen fast. When we start moving up, it's going to happen fast. So still pretty confident that this is going to take off at some point. It's just boring at the moment. It's a low cap crypto, and low cap cryptos are the ones that are left in the dust, and they pump after others have pumped already, right? And it's a psychological game as well, because this happened to me on the previous cycle where I had some low cap coins and the large cap coins were pumping, and taking the low cap coins and putting them on the ones that looked stronger and only making a 2x on them, and then the low caps starting to do a 5-10x in a matter of weeks, and missing out on the pump just because others look strong now and this one doesn't look strong, right? It's really it's really hard to understand. But you're going to get the high caps and the mid caps pumping and making 5-10x's and look strong and maintaining an uptrend, and the low cap coins, you're going to see them, you know, left in the dust, but they will get their momentum at some point, and they are big, right? They do make 5-10x's very, very fast. So just understanding the market cycle, okay? This is going to be one of the last cryptos to pump, I can tell you that. When everything else has pumped, this will probably pump, okay? And we will talk about it, right? We will talk about the date. We'll share some other charts, right, and put them on top of this one, and we will see how other cryptos have, you know, pumped in this stage while this one was boring, and then this one pumped later on. So, and there's a big gap in timing based on the lower cap cryptos. We will talk about that eventually once it happens. BTC lifting. BTC is lifting very much as expected, breaking out for the moment from the December highs, and it looks like that we will attempt to push to higher levels as we do have the liquidity there. So this is why there was no shorts to be taken, guys, here. There's just no shorts to be taken. We've still got lots of liquidity at 103, 105, 108. Still lots, and maybe there's going to be lots building up, which is going to bring steam to the price action to just extend a little bit longer. So any longs, this is more a level to jump into longs on the pullbacks. This is an area to jump into longs on the pullbacks, get into a scalp, you know, take some profits here and put your stop loss at entry point to see if we do rock it. There's right, so follow the price action. BTC going, just chilling, says I1. Absolutely, just chilling. We still have a lot of liquidity. VeChain, we're gonna go through. I'm just gonna put some alerts here to the downside on Bitcoin, and we can start looking at, all right, if we do get a first rejection from the highs, it's going to be interesting. If we do reject from here, I believe it won't be the proper rejection, and I would actually be looking at a possible another test of the highs if we do reject from here. I don't think it's going to be the solid one that breaks down. So the daily level could be a support zone. And this is only for scalps. There's only scalp longs at the moment to be taken. Just being aware of the price correcting down aggressively. You don't want to be caught on a swing long here and holding a major loss or adding to position, right? Because this could move down very aggressively, as we do know, after a pump of several days with no pullback. It's actually higher than the last high. Let's talk about some altcoins that I have on. Rune is one of them as well. I have to say, Rune, this was analysis mentioned on the previous live streams that, you know, got into a cheeky swing long position on Rune, giving the possibility that this low is going to hold. Just really basically longing the 0.88 Fibonacci from this movement, saying this is the last chance for Rune. And you have a kind of a similar price action than 𝗖, right? And 𝗖 is also, we've been talking about this for ages right now. I did buy a significant in this range, just analyzing that there is a high chance that we do form this similar bars pattern from Brett of 2024, which is an ascending broadening wedge, fake out to the downside, and then we rock it. And it also has to do with Elliott wave theory, right? With a 5-wave move in an expanding move, right? Which is very rare, but it happens just as it did happen here for Brett as well. In a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get that fake out, you test the lows of the 4th wave, and you rock it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you test the lows of the 4th wave, consolidating, bring it on. I'm happy to buy here and not buy on the pump, right? So, yeah, looks very, very interesting. And this applies as well to Rune, basically, right? We do have Rune as well. And the same applies. It's like the last line in the sand. I wouldn't want it to test the lows because then you're probably looking for, well, you could see an ABC. Could it end up here in a double bottom and then recover? It could be the case. It could be the case as well. You know, I would be happy to long a swing failure pattern, right? Because you do have a possible zigzag and then you're moving up. So only got a few swing longs on some different altcoins. Some other ones I've been holding for many weeks. But on Bitcoin right now, not too interested in getting into any longs. They're very, very low scalps. Interested in those levels here for trading that I mentioned throughout the stream on Bitcoin, right? If you want to, anybody that is joining right now, the first 30 minutes have been fully focused on Bitcoin. And just remember, if you are interested in trading on Weeks, which is absolutely awesome, a great platform, you get the biggest discount on fees and a great deposit bonus, guys. There is a competition going on right now, which you can win a car. There's a $150,000 prize pool. You also have the link down below in the description. Just scroll down here and you do have the Weeks link right there. You just need an email and a password. And there's a competition going on as well, where there's some great perks that you can win, okay? So, yeah, more liquidity to the upside. I don't think that this is going to be the level where it rejects, guys. Just keeping it very, very clear. I think we could get a bit of choppy, wiki moment here to the upside. There's still lots of liquidity lying here. So more upside is likely for Bitcoin. Altcoins. When US starts, they will take BTC back to Asia session. Very possible. Andy, is it a good time to buy Acropolis? Wow, I do hold a bag in the dust of Acropolis. Let's take a look at that one. I mean, just looking at CoinGecko at Acropolis. Taking a look at Acropolis, which is kind of rebranded to this name, right? Very low cap crypto. This one got a devastating move down. My goodness. Yeah, this one like got extremely wrecked. Extremely wrecked Acropolis. Business platform. Yeah, they rebranded. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Acropolis. Did they take it off CoinGecko? Did they take Acropolis off CoinGecko? That's what I'm questioning right now. 1K viewers, let's go. We got CBM. We got another legend right there. I need to give a shout out to this guy because he's an absolute legend. Guys, if you don't follow him, make sure to do so. He provides insane content, news, altcoin picks. He's in the comment section right now, guys. Go and check him out. CBM, Crypto by 𝗲. You need to go and check him out, guys. It's this sexy dude right over here. Make sure to follow because he provides lots of stuff on altcoins, news related. He only started the channel a few weeks ago and is doing very, very well. Check out Supra, please. How are your thoughts on Layar AI? Layar AI is at the base. I have to say, it will have its moment. It will have its moment. Layar AI it will have its moment. It's basically at the base of this large consolidation. And we are interested when we are at a base from the correction, right? Some may think it is a bear flag, right? And this is going to break down very aggressively. But when you're at a base, it's usually a good zone to reaccumulate. Okay, so overall, Layar AI looks pretty damn good. But what I'm interested in is, my goodness, we know that XRP is leading the way here. I am interested in Rune. Rune is an awesome project. We had the major pump, a major correction throughout December. Very, very strong correction here. Very, very strong when we do take a look at the ruler here. And we analyze the corrective move on Rune was 60% just in December. 60% corrections in a bull market on altcoins is basically the bread and butter, right? It happens. It does happen. So overall, Rune is an awesome project, and without a doubt, for a reaccumulation perspective, this is an awesome prize for reaccumulation. ICP. I do hold a bunch of ICP. Major targets. It's back at the reaccumulation area that we did have throughout July, August, September, October. And I was explaining this scenario throughout the previous stream. When you have a massive drop, reaccumulation zone where you're going to eventually pop out, you have the first initial wave 1, a reaccumulation here on your wave 2. This is the first leg up. You're coming back down to the base. We are looking for these high cap coins to actually recover in the coming weeks. And when we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, guys, it looks crystal clear that there will be a transition when Bitcoin is extremely overvalued as it is. Well, overvalued, I think Bitcoin is eventually going to $1 million. But regardless, people will speculate and transition into altcoins. It happens throughout every cycle where Bitcoin leads the way, hits all-time high and goes to higher levels. And there is a moment where people realize that they cannot make as much gains on Bitcoin than on some altcoins, especially the good projects, right? So overall, March was the month on the 4-year cycle where the Bitcoin dominance started to move down aggressively. We were already downtrending throughout January, okay? Throughout January, we already started downtrending. Part of February, pretty sideways. So we are starting to downtrend because we got an official break of the local structure. Now, the question is, when are we going to start rolling down? Will we have one more pump here and then roll down? When are we going to start moving in that third aggressive wave down? Will it be last week of January, mid-February? You know, it's kind of got, will we test the highs again and then come down? That is the overall question. But regardless, guys, it's not an easy game. It is bumpy. People are starting to, you know, be impatient, right? People are starting to be impatient. And that's usually the moment where you start entering into the altcoin season, right? So it's going to happen, guys, regardless. All-time high, says 𝗬𝗫𝗿𝗫. Bitcoin to all-time high today? I don't think so. It's unlikely. 103K, just tapped. I think we're going to form a little bit of choppiness here. It's not going to be a clear rejection. I do see a little bit of more momentum to the upside because we do have the liquidity above us, guys. You know, that liquidity hasn't fully been claimed. There's still a bunch of liquidity. I think we do have another pump on Bitcoin to the upside as we do zoom in here on the liquidity map, right? We just basically missed that liquidity by a few $100 above $103,000. So still looks like that Bitcoin's going to get a leg up here. BTC all-time high today. Believe, bro, says Cryptomania. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen today, but overall, it will happen in the next coming weeks. Let's go. There's a lot of hype based on the Donald Trump, guys. Going to be president very soon to designate a crypto as a national priority, including the consideration of a national Bitcoin stockpile. People are really speculating that, you know, it's going to be very, very big. There's lots of states that have taken the Bitcoin reserve, right, for 2025. Speculation that we are going to see interest rate cuts, 3 or 4 throughout the year, and that the money printer should go on. We know what happens after that. We get altcoin season, baby, right? We get altcoin season. As long as Bitcoin behaves and we head to all-time high in the coming weeks and we pretty much behave in this zone with no big major pullbacks, because big pullbacks is what will get the altcoins wrecked, right? So we need to see Bitcoin climb up sustainably and consolidate so we do get those altcoin pumps, right? Throughout all of this zone in November, look how steady the price moved on Bitcoin throughout November. This is where we saw altcoins rally as well. We got an awesome rally on major altcoins in November. So that's what we need in this area for Bitcoin as well. A pretty sustainable momentum with small pullbacks, nothing too crazy. So we get our altcoin season. The moment Bitcoin takes a dump here of 10,000 to 20,000, then we know that we're getting wrecked with our altcoin holdings, right? I'm going to be wild Umbrella to all-time high. I don't think Umbrella will reach its previous all-time high, but I do think it has a chance to hit 20, 50 cents, maybe $1. All-time high is over $2. I don't think it is Is 85,000 possible here, says Navinth. 85,000 is still a possibility. However, the probabilities are decreasing right now with this move. When we do take a look at the higher time frame different scenarios, let's clean up the chart here because I don't know why I have so many levels. The chance of $85,000 eventually is there, and I think it will be hit regardless, hitting all-time high or not. You know, we are going to see $85,000 again at some point. Probably never going to see 20,000 or 30,000, but 85,000, yeah, without a doubt. But regarding the local structure here, we are running out of possibilities, especially after taking out this high. Now, we either looking at this as a correction, which we have been speculating throughout the last few weeks, guys, on the higher time frame, just so you understand the market structure for all of those bears, why it's unlikely that the price will break down successfully from $90,000. Could it hit $85,000? Yes, but this will be an awesome buying opportunity, especially if you haven't taken out all-time high. And the main reason why leans with this explanation. When you look at this corrective structure, right now, there are no options for a third wave impulsive move down unless you're counting this as a wave one and this as an ABC flat. And then you're rolling down. Highly unlikely scenario, just because your second wave, if this were to be an ABC flat, which is the only bearish case that would be possible and still has extremely low probability, to speculate that this is a wave two right there, the timing is well overextended from your start of the wave one to the end of the wave one. You know, this is like 10 times longer for the speculation of an ABC flat right over here. It's just, it wouldn't work, guys. You know, this is just not, this is extremely unlikely. So we need to start thinking of other larger corrective move possibilities. It's either an ABC, in this case a WXY, because we have a three-wave move here in C, and the price is going to move up very impulsively throughout the next coming days. And you know, this is it, right? We might get a pullback and then we continue up. Or if we're thinking of a larger corrective structure, there is only two scenarios. There is only two scenarios. And that is looking at this as a zigzag in your wave W. This right over here, a flat structure in your wave X. And now you either form a double zigzag, okay? A zigzag here to the downside in a double, triple zigzag, it doesn't matter. And you form a double zigzag right there in a WXY. Or you form a triangle in your Y throughout the next coming weeks, and this would be extremely bullish. If we start doing this, guys, in the next coming weeks, this will be the most bullish pattern that there is, because it's a confirmation that we're going to break out to the upside at some point. And it would just be a large corrective move. This is no structure for an impulsive move down. This is all corrective by, you know, we knew this was corrective already with this movement down. We knew that it was an unlikely scenario that we were going to break down successfully here to much lower levels many weeks ago. We understood that $85,000 was possible based on a double zigzag here, but we were looking for all-time high. We ended up with a swing failure pattern from the lows, and that was it, right? So we didn't go lower. So overall, the breakdown from this area, we understood it was unlikely to get a successful move down. This was very much, we understood this many weeks in advance, that, you know, we either test the lows, we got into some longs here, or we break down, we look for lower levels, we look for the 85, we were looking at some levels as support. We understood that this wave right over here was not impulsive. This was a double zigzag. We had 7 waves, very, very, very complex move, but it was not a wave 1. We were pretty much confident in that scenario. So we understood that all of this is corrective. You know, you ain't going to break down successfully from, you know, $90,000. Could you hit 85 and bounce up? Yes. So with this movement up claiming this high, it's even more obvious that we're going to hit all-time high in the coming weeks, right? It's even more obvious that this is not an impulsive move down. The only scenario that comes to my mind would be this being a wave 1 and this being a flat right over here, which is extremely long, too long, way long to give you any probabilities. The probabilities are very, very low for this to be an ABC flat, and we're going to break down here in a third wave. So we understand that the only bearish case scenario is either forming another zigzag down here to form a double zigzag, to form a triangle structure in your Y, because we're talking about this flat being the X wave, right? And this being a zigzag on your W wave. Or you form another flat, which is going to be, wow, you know, if we were to form another flat here in your Y, you're basically looking for a movement down, a movement up, and a movement down again. And this would be very, very interesting to form your Y. Then eventually, if we move down like this, very, very confusing for a lot of people. We'll be analyzing this on the higher time frame. This will be a very, very bullish structure. And when you get the breakdown here is your moment to get ready to get the bounce. But the end, I mean, there's so many different scenarios that could happen, but they are there, right? We'll be paying attention that what scenario could happen. But I can already tell you that all-time high is kind of guaranteed. It's guaranteed to happen in the next coming weeks, and anything that happens here with or without claiming the lows is going to be corrective. So if we do come down to the lows here, it's just going to be a very good bullish opportunity, just like coming down to the lows on Monday here. You know, this is a moment to start being bullish. Forget about the head and shoulder structure and all of those bears out there. This is corrective. We break down a bit more and move up, or we swing failure pattern, get a bounce and go higher. So anyway, let's go smash up the like button, legends. Some awesome TA here. Thank you very much, Junior. Much love to you. Much love to you. And the ultimate bullish case scenario is really extending here to all-time high in the coming days, which I think is an unlikely scenario. Just because your wave 1s here are very, very, your wave 2s, matter of fact, are very, very shallow. They are very shallow in pullbacks. I don't like these pumps with shallow pullbacks. The best pullback that we had was yesterday. But these pullbacks, shallow pullbacks, are not sustainable in time. And gives you a low probability that these are shallow wave 2s. Shallow wave 2s are you know, improbable here. So we are looking at the price to not hit all-time high in the coming days and form a little bit more of a larger complex corrective structure for the next coming days, and then head up to all-time high in the coming weeks. Okay, so overall, the plan has been talked about. Could we smash the all-time high tonight? It is very, very possible, guys. You know, it could happen. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of hype at the moment. Donald Trump coming into president, pro-crypto, strategic reserve on Bitcoin. Lots, you know, this is really, really hyped up here. But, you know, anything that moves up with hype is not sustainable, right? Is not sustainable. So The plans for the trading setup that I am going to be taking have been explained the first 30 minutes of the stream, guys. Go and check it out. Anybody that has just joined right now, I do a little bit of the lower time frame analysis and what do I expect here. We do have a lot of liquidity. I don't see this as a successful swing failure pattern level. It has been explained when we scale up here like this. There's no swing failure pattern to be taken because this is basically you know, micro 1-2s right there. They usually end up with the price action moving to higher levels, right? When you want a swing failure pattern, you do want the price to basically come up to the level very fast, right? Just something like this, and then swing failure pattern from a major level with a big move up and then down. But when you scale up like this, it is actually quite bullish. It's explained in the first 30 minutes to 1 hour of the video, talking about the levels, how I would want to execute my next trade, which is a short, because longs are only scalps. If you want to get into a small little pullback to test the highs here, guys, you know, that's the only longs that I see available at the moment. And if you are interested in trading, guys, weeks is the place to go. I've only got a bunch of swing longs on some altcoins. Rune is one of them. See if we do. This is the low for many altcoins. Weeks, great platform, guys. You just need an email and a password, and you get the biggest fee discount just by signing up with a link, and you also get the deposit bonus, right? The more you trade, more deposits you make, the more airdrops you're going to get into your account, okay? And you just need to scroll down and check out the week's link here. It's the second link here beneath Bybit. If you can trade on Bybit, Bybit is a great option. And there's also the competition, guys. There's the competition link down below where there's 150,000 prize pool. You got an option to win a Rolex, a gold bar, a Mercedes. You know, these competitions are great because you do have a chance in winning some of these perks, right? Legends, not much more on the Bitcoin TA. We've gone through some news, some altcoins. Thank you very much for joining. Make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe, because we'll be back with more tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah, we'll probably do a 𝗕𝗊𝗿𝗫 live stream tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.